So I was just curious, like, how did you get into making music?
How did I get into making music? It's funny, because I was kind of, like, bred into this in the sense where it was, like, my parents, like, birthed me being, like, this kid is gonna do music, and this kid is gonna, like, eat, sleep, breathe, like, music. Like, they had me playing piano when I was, like, 3, and then violin at 5, and then I was, like, doing orchestra and shit, and doing, like, competitions and shit. And then I kind of just stopped because I thought I wanted to be, like, an athlete, so I was all about, like, track and, like, sports. And then after I had, like, an injury, I was like, okay, well, I gotta get back on the music shit. And then so then I figured out, like, I discovered, like, GarageBand, and through then, like, I started using Logic, which is what I use now. Yeah.
Who would you say are some of your biggest, like, influences, or at least, like, early on, like, who would you musically be influenced by?
Definitely a lot of Michael Jackson was played in my household. I was, like, grown up super Catholic at first, and then kind of, like, different dominations of Christianity, so, like, I couldn't really listen to secular music besides Michael Jackson, so he was, like, the GOAT. And then somehow from Michael Jackson I went to Pierce the Veil in, like, middle school, and I was, like, hella into, like, metal, like, soft, screamo ass rock. And then Chief Keef, like, changed my life, most definitely. When Don't Like dropped, like, I completely flipped the script. He birthed me. And then, yeah, those ones. Michael Jackson, Chief Keef, and Pierce the Veil.
It's definitely a wide range.
Yeah.
Would you say that kind of manifests in your music, and how, like, you don't really necessarily stick to one genre, I guess?
Yeah, because to be honest, I feel like I'm not even the only one like that, because people who grew up, when I grew up, we had everything at our fingertips. Like, we had the internet, and we had, like, cool books and, like, all these cool movies, so it's like, why just stick to one thing when we have, like, all this other cool shit, you know?
You just kind of absorbed it all.
Yeah, I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna figure it out.
What was the first album you remember listening to all the way through?
Ooh, Lady Gaga. Which one was her? Her first one, the one with Poker Face.
Yeah, the Fame.
Fame. Yes, Lady Gaga, Fame. Oh my gosh, when I begged my mom to buy that for me, when I say I begged, cried in the Target floors, and then she got it, and I was so happy. Front to back, every day at school, I'm like, yeah, I'm that bitch. Like, period. Every day.
What would you say is your favorite song from that album?
I mean, shit, Poker Face. Or Disco Stick. Or is that not from that one? Yeah, Love Game.
I don't know why I also know.
Because it's iconic. Like,
Yeah,
it's an iconic piece of art. Shit, she went crazy.
And getting into, like, your own music, like, what is your songwriting process like?
Well, something will shake up my life, and then I'll just write about it, if that makes sense. Like, something has to happen, or, like, there's gonna be, like, a series of events that, like, triggers something, and then once I hear a beat, and if it reminds me of something that happened, then I just kind of go off of that.
We could transition to, like, Sensitive and, like, the music you have out right now.
Say less.
Yeah, I guess, like, what was generally just, like, what inspired you when you were working on the EP?
Honestly, that was such a funny era in my life, because, like, it's all kind of a blur at this stage, because it's kind of like I had been writing Sensitive for all my life, or at least ever since I started, like, working on music, because it started with songs that I had written when I was, like, 17, 18, and then 19, which is when I, like, had released the project. So it was kind of like a bunch of just kind of like me growing up and figuring out how to, like, mix and, like, use my voice in different ways. So that was kind of my drive for that whole project, and I just kind of released it. Here you are today.
And that's your debut project, right?
Yeah.
Did you expect it to take off in the way that it did?
Yes and no. Because, like, I knew that I had a pretty strong backing, but I didn't know, like, what, but, like, there's, like, no way to, like, gauge the future. Like, you can have, like, all the friends in the world, but if your music is shitty, then no one's gonna listen to it, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it was just, like, let's see what is up to the people, like, it's literally it.
How'd you feel, like, leading up to it, like, before it came out?
Dog. When I tell you my life was a mess, plus Corona, dude, I was tired as hell. I was like, yo, like, fuck all this music shit. Like, I'm trying to sleep. I'm just trying to pass finals, dog. I don't have time for this song, the fuck. But, like, at the same time, though, like, as I was starting to drop music starting from, like, January, like, the reception was, like, incredible. So, like, even though I was so tired, it was, like, there's something in me that it is, like, it's, like, necessary for me to, like, keep working on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for other people. So.
Yeah, actually, I was curious about that. Like, what was it like to kind of, like, on the music side, have things really be, like, taking off, but then also, like, at this, like, weird, like, time that we're in? Like, what's that like for you?
It was just really funny. Like, honestly, like, every day was a movie. Like, legitimately, like, every day. It's like, oh, like, I wake up one morning and it's fucking, like, oh, you're, like, on the cover of, like, so-and-so, like, thing. And I'm like, cool. Put my phone down. My teacher's like, get off your phone. Like, I don't, like, I'm not, like, everything's just kind of, like, blurry. And it's, like, a funny balance. Because, like, at the end of the day, I just laugh because it's, like, is this shit even real? Like, is life even real? It makes me, like, existential at that point.
I have one thing that happened recently is your song Cookout was on Issa Rae's Instagram story.
Yeah.
How did that feel to, like, wake up and find that out?
That was mad funny. It was funny because it had happened, like, an entire day prior, and, like, nobody on my team knew. Like, we found out, like, through somebody else, like, posting it. Like, my A&R posted it, and I was like, when the fuck did this happen? Like, I was, like, at work all day yesterday. Like, why didn't anybody, like, let me know that this was happening? Like, fuck. So, yeah, that was cool. Shout out to her. Love her.
I kind of asked you this earlier, but, like, what is it like to be in school but also be doing music? And then, like, do you, like, ever want to
just leave?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. Honestly, every day, like, the leading days up to today that I started school, I was like, I need to figure out how to get the fuck out of this. Like, I need to figure out a leeway. But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, I put in so much, like, effort. Like, my parents are like, finish what you started. Everyone I know is just like, finish what you started. I'm like, oh, fuck. So, kind of just gotta write it out. So I'm just gonna write it out until, like, something literally, like, it's, like, a no-brainer that I should leave. Because it's not, like, crazy affecting my life. Like, I'm pretty good at time management, but it is what it is.
I would say overall, like, yeah, your music doesn't really fit into one genre. So I'm curious, how would you describe, like, what your style or what your sound is?
My sound is honest, and my sound is raw, is how I would describe it. Because, like, at the end of the day, it's not really the style of music. It's, like, the story behind it, and, like, the meaning that, like, the song is trying to convey. That's what is the more important part that I feel like.
How would you say the new stuff you have coming out differs from the stuff on Sensitive?
The music coming out is just a lot bigger. It's a lot better quality-wise. And it just kind of gives you a new look at, like, how I am, not only as a person, but, like, the shit that was happening in my life. So it's just, like, an expansion of myself.
And so is it, like, a new project you have coming out? Like, is it an EP or?
It's a project.
Okay.
It's a little thing.
Nice.
You know, a little thing for the autumn. Yeah, the fall season.
Is there a title for it that you can share?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
When did you start working on this one? Because you just dropped Sensitive like earlier this year.
Yeah, see, like I was saying, I was like, I've been working on Sensitive like all my life.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was, so I already had like other shit that I was working on, but it wasn't until I met my friend St. Louis, and he's this like crazy producer, and he's so low key, like he's just normal ass dude, and he just happened to have this nice ass studio in his basement. I was like, my guy, let's make a project. So once I linked with him, we just went literally crazy and made like a ton of songs, and we landed on like a couple that we felt strongly about. We made it a story, and it's kind of unfolding now.
How did you and St. Louis meet?
So basically, it's a funny story. I had made this like techno song with my friend Angel. They go by Yesterday Never Happened. And then St. Louis heard it, and St. Louis was like, what the fuck? So he was already aware of me. So then St. Louis dropped this song, like with this other guy, like he produced this other song. And the guy like singing on it was cool, but I was like, who the fuck produced it? Like, this is great. And then I DM'd St. Louis, and then like we just instantly like clicked. And then we linked with my friend Angel, and then we all just kind of became besties. And now we're like hella tight, and we make hella music. Yeah.
Would you say that's accurate to how it usually goes with like your collabs, like when you're working with anyone?
No, yeah, like honestly, I definitely have to know you. Like, you can't just be some random ass like person. Like, I have to either like we have in a relationship already, or it's like, oh, I'm a fan of you, like genuinely, and like we like there's like just like a mutual understanding of like us working together would like blow shit up, like just on a hypothetical scale. Like, we don't know each other personally, but like on a business level, like it would just like work out. So yeah.
And this interview will probably come out like later, but right now you just dropped Blue Sky,
Yeah.
along with the like music video for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you talk a little bit about like that song and what went into making it?
It's mad funny because, okay, the beginning of the song is really like upbeat, and like it's a lot of like drums and like thunder ass sounds. That was from like another song. Like, we like chopped up like probably 3 songs and like shoved it into like one thing. And I wrote each section at like different times of my life. Like, the first part was written in like, okay, the first part was written like this year, like in like February. But then like the middle section, when I had this like deep ass vocal, I wrote that when I was probably like 17 on some like freaky like weird shit. And then like the hook, again, written this year. And then like the ending part was some like composition that like me and St. Louis made like on some like weird like techno ass trippy ass shit. I don't even know. So yeah, I don't even remember like the main course of that question. Wait, what were you saying? I got lost.
I was asking like what went into making the song.
Oh, no, yeah. It was just like a lot. It took us months, dog. Like, we started that song in January, and we probably finished it in like June. So it took a minute, but it came out raw. Yeah.
And you dropped the like video for it too. Like, how does the like what's your like the song correlate with the video?
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. It just so happened that like Corona hit when it was time to. At the time, we thought that we were gonna start rolling out the project in June, so we were getting ready, and we were like, we gotta just figure this shit out. Like, everyone's inside, but everyone's inside yet everyone's protesting. That's the time that it was, so it's like weird as fuck. So we were just like, what's an indoor activity that doesn't allow a lot of people? And I'm like, okay, well, I can smoke weed and I can like run in nature, and like we're gonna make it look cinematic as fuck. And like the director Chris was like, bet, and we just kind of ran with it. The next videos, like, you already know, like it's gonna make more sense, but this one was just like, fuck it, like, we're just gonna make this shit work for now.
No, it came out fire.
Yeah, like we did that shit.
And then when it comes to like the new stuff you're dropping and the project you have coming, like what do you hope listeners like take away when they hear it?
I think that it's gonna. I hope that it evokes confidence in people, because this was written at the time where like Sensitive had just come out, or like the songs from Sensitive were just coming out, and it was also written at a time where I was like kind of damn near losing it just because of all the things that are happening in the world. So I hope that it brings people confidence, but then also lets them know that they're not alone in whatever they're going through.
Oh wait, actually, and so like bring it like back. I wanted to ask this earlier, or just in general, I want to know for like Sensitive, the song.
Yeah.
Like what did you write that about, or like what inspired that?
That song's a fucking trip. I gotta even think about it, because I haven't even listened to my own music. I'm focused on like 2021 right now. Like that's where my mind's at. So like Sensitive. Yeah, I don't know. It was at a time. It was not some like stupid high school beef. Now I remember it. Oh my gosh. It was like somebody that I liked was like liking somebody else that I liked. And it was just like, well, I want both of you, so like we need to figure this shit out. And I was just like mad because like, damn, you took my bitch, but like you are also my bitch. And like it was just complex and like stupid. And it like came out fire. So yeah. Yeah.
That one's the one that hit like over 1 million now on Spotify.
Yeah, people like that one.
That's crazy. That's just about like some high school
some stupid ass high school drama,
bro. Actually, just like off curiosity, like what have you been listening to lately?
What I've been listening to, I have been listening to a lot of like David Bowie, and I've been listening to a lot of the Smiths, and I've been listening to a lot of like just kind of like older like grandfathers of like rock and like indie music and like kind of that style, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So like looking back, I guess at 2020, like as like the full year for you, like even the past few months, like it's been pretty busy.
Yeah.
What are some of like have been the highlights of the year for you?
One, I have not gotten corona once, so that's
pretty good.
That's a plus in America, let me tell you. Fucking I don't know. Honestly, like just natural pluses, like I'm financially stable, my family is healthy, and we all love each other. Like I'm healthy, the people that I love are healthy. I have people that I love and people love me. Just like basic things like that people take for granted are like huge pluses to me, because like some of those things I haven't always had, so it's nice to have them now.
How does it feel to have like things in music and like in general just like coming into fruition for you right now?
Dude, it's a fucking blessing, because I've been like working at this essentially. Like I said, like I was bred into this like to do music, so now I'm really doing it and I'm taking it mad serious now. So it's nice to know that all the work being put in is taking off.
What are some ways you like keep yourself like motivated to keep like doing stuff when it's like difficult, or when you have like a lot of stuff that you have to work on?
The fans, to be honest. Yeah, like if they weren't like responding, me as a Leo, you know what I'm saying, I love attention. I wouldn't be out here like if I wasn't helping others. Like I also believe that I was put here to like help others, and hopefully in the future I can like start helping others in like different ways, like financially and like with education and like things like that. But for now, like through the music shit, like it's a blessing to know that I'm like getting people through their days, and like people are like just like vibing out to my shit. Like it's pretty cool.
Who are some artists out of Chicago that you want to work with in the future?
Artists out of Chicago that I want to work with? Jane Doe is so cool. Or John Doe. John Doe, yeah, no, she's so cool. Fucking, there's this girl out here, her name's Nina Tech. I actually found her through Lyrical Lemonade when I was reading through, and I was like, damn, this girl is crazy. Like, she needs to blow. Yeah, off the top of my head, those two, most definitely.
And then, I ask this to every Chicago artist. So, like, what do you think is missing in the Chicago music community, right? You see a lot of times where artists will, like, get to a certain point and they'll move to LA, or they'll move to New York, where more resources are, stuff like that. Like, what do you think is missing in Chicago's music community?
I think that something's missing is that people aren't merging together. Chicago tends to get this reputation that everyone's cookie, and that's because it's damn near true. Because there'll be, like, the hip-hop heads who chill with them, and then it's, like, the indie kids who chill with them, and then it's, like the fucking dance techno kids over here. And I'm like, bro, why aren't we all in one space? Because, like, when you combine all of the genres and all of the styles and all of that, it becomes like something more beautiful. People move to LA because they think that, oh, I'm with the rappers here. Well, if I go to the rappers in LA, well, then I'll be even bigger. I'm like, no, bro, you need, like, versatility. Like, you need something different. So.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Oh my god. I'm 25. I hope that I'm happy in 5 years. I'm gonna stick with that. Yep. Happiness.